Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing great. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a palazzo jumpsuit. So this is the fabric I'll be using is around 3 yards. Yes, my client got 3 yards of fabric, but you can use 2.5 to achieve this jumpsuit, okay? Or even 2 yards if you're on a average size. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to draft this jumpsuit, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to minus our strap length. So the strap length I'm going to be working with is 6 inches. So you can see that I've already marked out some lines and I'll be explaining them. So the first line you're seeing here is the starting line. Then the second line is the chest line. So I'm going to be placing my tape at 6 inches on the starting line. Okay, so I'll mark out my chest line of 8 inches. Then I mark my waistline, which is 17 inches. Okay, so at the waistline I place my tape again to mark out my hip line, which is 9 inches. So the next line is the crotch depth, and to get your crotch depth, what you're going to do is to divide your hip by 4, and the hip I'm working with is 48 inches. If I divide by 4, I should have 12 inches. So because I'm making a wide leg palazzo jumpsuit, I'm going to be adding at least 5 inches to that. You can do 4 if you wish, but I'll be adding 5 inches to that my crotch depth. And if I add 5 inches to that, that will give us 17 inches. That is 12 plus 5 will give us 17 inches, and this is my 17 inches. This is the crotch height. Okay, so the length of the jumpsuit is 60 inches. Now another vertical line you're seeing here is the crotch extension, and for you to know how much you'll be marking, that is this vertical line you're seeing here is the crotch extension line. Okay, so how I got that is to divide my hip by 4. Whatever I got, I'm going to divide again. So remember that we are working with hip 48 inches. So when you divide your hip by 4, you should have if I divide my hip by 4, I should have 12 inches. I'm going to divide again, and that will give me 3 inches. Now I'm not going to be marking 3 inches. I did not make a mark of 3 inches because I am making a wide leg palazzo jumpsuit. So what I need is to reduce it by 1 inch. Okay, and I mark 2 inches. Okay, so from here to here is 2 inches. That's the line you're seeing down to the hemline. So this is serving as our crotch extension line. Okay, so but if I'm making a smart fitted jumpsuit, I'm going to use my actual crotch extension. Okay, I hope I'm clear on that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to start imputing our round measurements. So this is the starting line, remember. So I'm going to place my tape there, and I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2. And the shoulder I'm working with is 16 inches. Divided by 2 will give us 8 inches. I'm going to be minusing 2 inches from that 8 inches to get 6 inches, then plus 1 inch seam allowance, that will give us 7 inches. Now looking at the picture you're seeing on the thumbnail, you look at the neckline area, you can see it's a bit gathered here. Now if you want to achieve that exact look, you're going to be marking your exact shoulder measurements. That is, if your shoulder is 16 inches, divide by 2 will give you 8 inches, so that you can pleat a little and it will be firm on your shoulder. But if you're not pleating, please remove 2 inches from that so that your strap will not be falling off your shoulder. Okay, so now my client doesn't want any pleat around her neckline, so I'm going to be using the shoulder measurement divided by 2 minus 2 inches. Then I will add 1 inch for seam allowance. Now she wants a V neckline, so what I'm going to do is to come down to the chest line. This is the chest line, remember, this is starting line, then this is the chest line. So I'm going to come down to the chest line, and I'm going to go in by half of an inch. Why I'm going in by half of an inch is because I'm going to open up the center front of the jumpsuit. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to stitch it by half of an inch, okay? So I'm going to go in by half of an inch and I'm going to connect this way straight to the starting line. That is the upper chest line. Okay, the starting line is serving as the upper chest line, okay? Can you see the line? Please, I'm using this chalk because if I try to use my tailor chalk, it won't be showing on the fabric. So please bear with me. So coming to the chest area, that is where we're going to be imputing the bust measurement. The bust I'm working with is 46 divided by 2 will give me 11 and a half. Okay, so I'm going to be adding 3 inches to that 11 and a half for ease. Remember that is a palazzo jumpsuit we are making. So 11 and a half plus 3 inches, that will give us 14 and a half. Okay, so this is my 14 and a half here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect the upper chest line to the actual chest line, and I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so we're going to stop there. So the next line is the waistline, and her waist is 42 inches divided by 4 will give us 10.5 plus 3 inches allowance will give us 13.5. So I'm going to mark 13.5 here. Then we'll go over to the hip line. Her hip is 48, remember, plus now I'm going to be adding 5 inches to her hip because she wants her leg, the leg of the palazzo to be wide enough. So I'm going to be adding 5 inches to that, but if you don't want yours to be like that, you can do 3 or even 4. Okay, so I'm going to be adding 5 inches to her hip. That is, the hip is 48, remember, divided by 4 will give us 12 plus 5 inches, that will give us 17 inches. Okay, so this is 17 here. Now coming to the crotch line, we are going to impute the same 17. Now coming to the crotch extension line space, that is the space we left here, I'm going to make a curve and connect it to this line this way. Can you see? Now I'm going to take it down to the hemline. That is, from this point I'm going to take it down to the hemline. Okay, now again coming to this side at the crotch line, this side, I'm going to mark the same 17 down to the crotch, sorry, down to the hemline. So make 17, mark 17. So the next thing we are going to do is to connect the point. So the bust point, I'm going to connect to the waist. Then waist to the hip. Then to the crotch. Then down to the hemline. You see, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out this front part. Okay, I'm going to cut it out now. So the next thing I'm going to do now here is to add allowance at the neck area, half of an inch. We are going to cut the armhole. continue cutting for the center front. So this is the front, and you can see the one I'm using for the back under. So here for the crotch area, that is the crotch extension, I'm using 1 inch for the crotch extension. So that is only difference between the front and the back. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and cut it out. Like I said earlier, the only difference between the back piece and the front piece is that I added 1 inch for the back uh, crotch extension, okay, and I extend it down to the hemline. So that's the only difference. The sides remain the same, the neckline, everything remained the same, except that 1 inch I added for the back crotch extension. So when you now measure the wideness of the leg of the back, you will see that it's just 1 inch bigger than the front uh, piece. So that is it. So I have this piece of fabric I cut out, and the width is 2 1/4, and you see, so I'm going to be using this for the strap. So the length of the strap, remember, is 6 inches. Okay, so for the front and back, that will give us 12 inches. Then we'll add a 1 inch seam allowance, and that will give us a 13 inches. So on fold, you can see that it's just 1 inch and some uh, I don't know how to call it, but this is it on fold. So by the time I fold in the half of an inch, and this is what we'll have like half of an inch. Yes, okay, so that is it. So the next thing we're going to do now is to cut the pockets. The jumpsuit is going to have pockets, so I'm going to fold my fabric into 4 this way. So the guide to this pocket should be your palm, okay, and the width of the pocket should be 7 inches. The depth should your palm should be a guide for the depth of the pocket, and the width is going to be 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to place my hand this way, my palm, mark 7 inches for the width. This is 7 inches here, and I'm going to place my hand this way, and I'm going to trace it. This is a chiffon fabric. It keeps me moving. So please bear with me. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So the next thing I'm going to be doing after cutting this out is to cut out the facing. So before I cut out the facing, I'm going to be ironing a hairstay on the fabric I'm going to be using for the facing, okay, before I cut it out. So those are pockets. So I've gone ahead to cut out the facing, as can you see. So this is for the back. You can see that the center back is open, and this is for the front. The center front of this piece is closed, is on fold. So what I did is to close up the center front of the jumpsuit first. I close up the center front from the neck area down to the crotch area. That is where I stop. Okay, so I close that up first before cutting out the facing. So that's why the center front facing, this center front is on fold, okay, and the center back is open because I'm going to be fixing zipper at the back. Okay, so this is the this is the center back. You can see the neckline. So for those that don't know how to cut facing, what you're going to do is to get the fabric you're using for the facing, put it under your main fabric, okay? Then you're going to trace the neckline, you trace the armhole, and the side, the two side, then you cut out. Now the width depends on what you want. You can do 3, you can do 2, okay? So it all depends on what you want. Now before you cut out your facing, please iron hairstay to it. You can see I've already ironed. I iron hairstay before cutting it out, okay? So this is the strap. I've closed up the side, can you see? So this is it. So the next thing I did was to fix the pockets. Okay, I've attached the pockets. This is the second side. This is the my center, the back piece of the jumpsuit. Okay, so this is the front. So this is the front. You can see that the center front is closed already. Like I told you, I close it before cutting out the facing. So this is it, and also weave it. Can you see? So this is the pockets. I fixed the pockets. I'm yet to close it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go and fix my neckline. I'm going to turn the neckline using the facing I cut out. Okay, so it has to be right side of the facing, facing the right side of the main fabric. Okay, this way. Then before you do that, you have to fix your strap first. So you're going to close the armhole by 1/2 inch. Okay, you close this other armhole by 1/2 inch. Then you now place your strap. When you place the strap on the main fabric this way, then you now place it has to be in between the facing and the main fabric. Please take note of that, beginners. It has to be in between the facing and the main fabric, then you close. Okay, so that's the second strap. So it has to be on top of the main fabric, then you place your facing on top, then you stitch. Okay, and you before you turn. So I'm going to do the same at the back, and I'll close the sides, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So I've already closed up the sides of the jumpsuit, fixed the facing and the strap, as you can see. So this is the side with the pockets, and there's the center back. So the only thing remaining now is the zipper. I'll go and fix the zipper. So I close up the sides by 1/2 inch, and you see. So for the center back, I'm also going to fix the zipper using 1/2 inch, okay? So for the down part, you can see still have a 0.5 that I use. So the hemline, this is the hemline, hem by 1 inch. So this is how wide the leg is. This is how wide the leg is. And this is the second leg. Okay. The jumpsuit is looking beautiful already. So I'll go and fix the zipper and I'll come back and show you the finished look. So this is it on the mannequin. That's the finished look. You see? That's the pockets. The second one. And this is the back. It's actually not the mannequin size, so I have to use pin to hold the back. Okay, but the back is still the neckline. The back neckline is still V. Okay, so I fix an invisible zip. So there's the hem part. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next one.